What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a potential Scream 7 setting. They're already talking about it. There honestly sounds like there's some hints. Let's go over this. This comes from Scream King with an X instead of an I on Twitter. I want to give full credit to this individual. They found it. I believe this is a translation of an article, so it's not directly, starting like this, but that's okay. Let's read what they say. Now that you and Melissa Barrera are the two stars of the franchise, where would you like Scream 7 to take place? And they call it Panic 7 because it's translated. Paris would please me. I was there recently with my mom and loved it. Otherwise, Mexico, since Melissa and I are Latinas from Mexico, or why not at a ski resort in Switzerland? If you have any ideas for us, laughs. We were discussing this yesterday with Matt and Tyler, our directors, and the general consensus is it would be more like Fiji or some exotic place to enjoy the beaches and the sun, laughs. Honestly, it's too early to say, but I'm sure the writers are already thinking about it. So the laughing part definitely, I think, makes it more casual, makes it more you can't fully predict what's going to happen. I do think there's something there, right? The idea of Mexico kind of going to their heritage, I do think that's something that they would do. But one thing I really want to say is I really kind of believe the exotic, the beach kind of, sunrise, sunset kind of place, I really think that's where it could be. I don't know necessarily why you would do that from a story perspective. I guess it could just be like these people are tired of it. They're getting away from everything, so they're going on like a vacation. Like a vacation, maybe it's like a Christmas vacation, only it's going to be like a Scream vacation. You're going to get killed by Ghostface. I don't know how you bring everyone there. I guess the main issue with that is how, again, as a story, how do you get Nev? How do you get Sydney there if you're going to bring her in? How do you get Gail? Is this like a survivor's retreat where like all the survivors of these movies go there as like a day off? It kind of is silly when you think about it like that. And now she laughs when she brings it up, but she also kind of starts it off by saying like, if it were to be anywhere, we've kind of all agreed like a beachfront location kind of makes sense. But she laughs after it, so it's almost like, all right, well, how much do you want to read into it? I'll read into it a little. Obviously, I'm making this video, so I'm reading into it, an okay amount. I will be honest, the longer it goes, I am intrigued on, like, their take of, like, the Hollywood thing. I've made the theory videos and the live streams where we've kind of taken a different approach to Hollywood. It can be Hollywood, but it doesn't have to be on, like, a stab set. You can mimic 3 without flat out stealing everything. In fact, honestly, with 2 and 6, they kind of did that. It is at a college, but you see the college like one time. You don't even go in. There's no classes. There's no teachers. They're really outside the college when Mindy does the monologue, and that's it. So although it's taking from it a little bit, honestly, most of it is not. So, I mean, I guess you could use the beachfront location and do something. Maybe they're filming maybe it's a film set that's at a beach and they're doing that. So you kind of mix in exotic location. Maybe you take it as like a literal vacation-like thing, but then also it's a movie set. So you're kind of copying Scream 3, but you're doing it purposely. I think there's something to it. But yet again, her last sentence, like, in all honesty, it's too early. The writer's already thinking about it. Well, here's the thing. I imagine it's already been decided. If they're going to take the same approach to Scream 7 as they took with Scream 6, at this point, and maybe it's moved a little bit. Maybe they're taking more time this time around than what they did between 5 and 6. But in all honesty, the script probably is very well done. I'm sure there's maybe redrafts to do, but I imagine Matt and Ty, like, I'm just guessing, I suppose, but it makes sense to me. I imagine they've read a script, or there is a script that's like already been worked on. I think they've already picked. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I think whatever location it is, they've already picked the location. And I guess to Jenna, her like pitching it, at the time that where the script is right now, unless it's in like a very, very early concept, I don't know how much you'd be able to change it, right? So while she's joking like a ski resort and stuff like that, if you take that more seriously and say, well, can they influence it? I think the location is kind of like a centerpiece. I think New York was like that, right? Like when Matt and Tyler read it, New York was the thing. There's really no negotiating it. They're going to New York. Now, can they get the subway in the movie? Can they do this? Can they do that in the movie? Can we do the beginning where a killer gets killed, right? And they do that kind of stuff. I think that's more of a negotiation. That's more of, can we actually do this? But I think the idea of it being in New York, and I think they've said this, that idea was already kind of set in stone. I imagine if it's a beachfront location, they've already decided that. If it's a Hollywood set, they've already decided that. But it is interesting to hear Jenna kind of talk about it and to have those ideas. A lot of people have pitched the Mexico thing because of like the lineage. I think that's fine. I think that makes sense. The beach thing, like, you know, tropical. Well, she first mentions Paris, right? So like Ghostface International. I don't know. I mean, I like it to some degree. I also, and I guess, you know, New York is kind of the same thing. Like, we've never really been outside of Woodsboro, a college, and then Hollywood, or like a film set. So when you go to New York, it is so different. There's no guarantee it works. I guess I have that same feel for like Paris. I guess there's no guarantee it works, but also why not? Like, you nailed New York. It was awesome. It really was a character kind of in its own. It made the movie fresh and made it kind of different. If you can do that and put it in Paris, I guess the issue is, again, the biggest thing with all these locations is just going to be, how does it make sense to the story? Where are these characters going after the events of 6? Do they drop out of college? Why are they going to a beach? Why are they going to Mexico? Why are they going to Paris, right? You got to be able to explain that well, and you also have to potentially bring in other characters. So, you know, Danny follows Sam. That makes sense. Like, this core is kind of locked in. But, like, if you're in Paris, do you call Kirby? Does Kirby fly to, you know, to Paris? Does Gale go there? Does Sydney go there? How does that stuff work? You're going to have to figure that out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're all subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next video.